but at the moment we've got quite a good balance.
Mira, do you think in the next 10 years we'll just lose our Easternness altogether?
No, not at all. I think it is just purely based on, how fashion is evolving, just in what's coming around, what are the trends. I don't think it's about losing the Easternness at all. I think just generally, if it's going through a phase where we want to kind of cover up or have styling that's a lot more longer layered, that's going to start coming back in again.
But isn't our
it's not about
culture, isn't the Eastern culture, isn't modesty at the core of it? Covering up, wearing a dupatta, going into a mosque or a gurdwara, covering your hair. So the stuff that I see in magazines or that designers are putting out, I understand that it looks beautiful as a piece of art, there's a lot of workmanship that goes in it, but
it's all the styling.
But it's still down to, is it wearable? I mean, can you wear that out in public and still get away with it?
Traditional as well. We do get a lot of girls, whether they be older generation, younger generation. We get a lot of clients in who, let's say for a wedding, they want something traditional for the main day, yet for a reception, which is obviously more an English cultural event, they want a ball gown or something more sexy, as they call it, or more raunchy. But they've still got that traditional element.
Do you do fashion for honeymoons and stuff? I mean, do you cater to that market as well if you're doing weddings?
We've had a lot of girls who come in, and because we do custom-made designs, they want the whole outfit made from scratch, from the mehndi outfit up until what they're going to wear on the honeymoon. They'll have every outfit.
What kind of stuff are they wearing on their honeymoon? I'm sure it's not shalwar kameez and a big old dupatta around their neck, no?
We've actually had one customer come in, and she had the same embroidery she used on a wedding lehenga, which is a traditional Zardosi and Gundan work. She had the same thing put onto a bikini style with a sarong. And she had that custom made.
Really? Well, was her husband happy about that?
It was a honeymoon, so what they do in the privacy of the honeymoon is between them.
What do you...
Yeah, like sheer kaftans, lots of chiffon, lots of sequins. They want to be a bit special. Like I sent a sequin sheer kaftan down the runway, but the model was topless, but that was more for the effect, just kind of have a kind of striking kind of image, really. But obviously, no one's going to wear it like that. You would wear either a slip or a camisole, or you'd wear a bikini underneath that on holiday.
Well, there's more girls here than guys, and I have to ask the question that the fashion that we're putting out, the fashion that you might have in your boutique, or the fashion that you're putting out, are we creating ideals that normal girls can't live up to? I mean, how many girls can really pull off, a small little skirt with a lehenga or expose too much skin? So are we setting an unhealthy ideal?
Not really, I think. I mean, it depends on really this kind of really what they want. I mean, I think Andy was saying that, but if for a wedding, you would cover up. For the ceremony. If it's for a reception, which is a bit more glitzier, it's a bit more glamorous, you'd want to maybe have something a bit more, show-offy, a bit more revealing. But everybody's generally kind of wearing that kind of style anyway, whether you're wearing something like, with something with jeans.
Well, mainstream media always blames fashion magazines and fashion designers and the trends that are out there to eating disorders and having young girls with low self-esteem because they can't measure up to the model in the magazine or the model in the catwalk that's wearing that sheer kaftan or that bikini that's embroidered especially for her honeymoon. So do we play a part in promoting that?
I think there's a lot of boutiques around that are becoming more westernized. So obviously if there's more in the market, there's clear that there's more of a demand and people are buying into this.
But shouldn't we be learning from mistakes that, because we're taking a lot of our cues from mainstream media and mainstream designers, shouldn't we be
there's a stereotype that becoming westernized is a mistake, because you're saying, or it's becoming like a fusion that shouldn't, it's going in the wrong direction in a sense. But I mean, people need to wake up and stop being so black and white. I personally think that there is, a lot of westernized fashion around, but at the same time, people are forgetting that there is a lot of traditional elements around. There is a lot of, one side of our shop is traditional. We've got lehenga with traditional embroideries and dabga work and zardosi and stuff. But then on the other side, we've got prom dresses, cocktail dresses, but girls are wearing them with a churidar pajama or something. So to say that girls are going, younger generation are going too westernized, it's a bit stereotypical, I think. I mean, being that age myself,
right.
I think it's quite stereotypical, because I know a lot of me and my friends, we wear raunchy stuff. We wear, you know, cocktail dresses with a Julie to an Asian function. But at the same time, we're not going to walk around in a bikini. We are aware of that. We're
Well,
not stupid.
on that note, we're talking about Asian fashion, and is it becoming too Western? And if it is it a bad thing? We'll be back after this short break. Hi, welcome back to Broken Silence. I'm Sanyya Gardez. And apparently, Asian fashion isn't too Western, and if it is too Western, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Joining me on the panel still is New York Taylor, designer, and Maria Emma from Zoya Boutique. Maria, you were saying being too Western, not necessarily a bad thing.
I think it's been put into the wrong context. It's too Westernized. There is still Eastern culture around. There is still a lot of boutiques doing Eastern outfits. I mean, you can walk into a boutique and see one side Western and one side Eastern.
And how is it divided? I mean, is the Eastern side all clothes that have yards and yards of material, and the Western side like smaller and smaller?
That's a stereotype that's been depicted, but I don't think that's true, because I know personally we design outfits and we get bridal lehenga, which can be sleeveless, full length, but you've got the embroidery, which is more Eastern, and the cuts are more Eastern. Yet you can have a dress, which is again sleeveless, but the same amount of fabric's been used, but with the rhinestones and the embroidery, Swarovski crystals and such that's been used, that seemed to be too Westernized. But again, it's the same amount of fabric.
It's all about the styling, really, because something can be, you know, something quite small, but because it has maybe a very old styling of traditional kind of embroidery, it's kind of seen as a traditional piece.
Right.
If the same piece was had, you know, in loud, bright colours, you know, with all kinds of embellishment on there, then that would be seen as a modern,
well, you
too
said
Westernized.
you said you were doing 3/4 length saris.
I will be.
Oh, you will be. Okay, so that's still to come.
Yeah.
But say in about 15 years' time, and obviously fashion evolves, and we're going to be here longer, we'll be more Western, so to speak. Will we be then wearing less and less clothes? I know you say that's a stereotype. I don't really agree with that because, you know, 10 years ago, you would have to be a little bit more covered up. Maybe not in the 60s, maybe not in the 60s Bollywood, but in real life 10 years ago, you would have to be more covered up. That, to me, is more Eastern. Showing more skin, and I'm equating it with Western, is because that's not our culture. Our culture is all based on modesty.
But at the same time, our culture is developing in terms of women are going out working, girls are getting educated. So that's a development that's been brought about in the culture. And obviously, like every culture develops, fashion changes with that. So I think it needs to be understood that it's not something that's just going to constantly stay as it was 10, 15 years ago. As culture's changing and developing.
That's my point exactly, that it's not going to stay the way it is. It is going to evolve.
Not even just cultural. I think modesty is within us as individuals. It's how far you want to take it, how far you feel comfortable to show as much skin as you want to or as little as you want to. It's about your personal styling and who you are.
Well, we've got a couple of males in the audience. What is your take on Asian fashion? Do you think it's becoming too sexy, too scandalous? Would you be okay with your sister wearing an outfit that was revealing?
The way I see it is simple. Guys, I'm a man, and other men around here, I'm sure they'll agree.
Hello.
And other people that are in the audience will agree as well. Men have this, I don't know, cage, if you want to call it, whereas they like to get an eyeful when they go out, and they like to see what's in the audience. But when it comes to their own wife or sister, they don't like it. And for me, I don't believe in that personally. I'm not a designer myself, but I appreciate other people's work. I've been around in the world, I've seen pictures, I've seen people, and as we were talking about tradition, Indian tradition, if we go back many years, I've seen pictures of it in books, you know, women hardly were wearing anything. And to me,
are we talking about caveman days, or are we talking about recent history?
No, even now, till date, I've been into the countries in India, you know, Rajasthan, for example, and the clothing they will wear is next to nothing. It's like bikini styling clothing, you know, and to people over here, it's like, wow, I've seen people in England in the summer, people that have come to visit from Rajasthan, these women have been wearing these things, and so it is there.
Right.
I think there's too much of a stereotype that westernization means less clothing. You take a traditional sari, a traditional sari blouse, there's not much there compared to like if you get a skirt and or a prom dress or something, that's fully covered from the top. But if you want to be black and white about it, a sari blouse comes up to here, and
And
a
you're
ball gown
ready to
dress
go.
is fully covered.